All right, so we're going to be playing Yokai Hunters Society here. And before we get into the game here, I really quickly wanted to share this with you. This is part of Nerdburger Con, and that's to benefit the Trevor Project. So I want to put this up here on the screen. There's a fundraiser going on. All the games are for free, but the Trevor Project is to help at-risk youth in the LGBTQ plus community. And so if you are so inclined, and here we go. We've got our last player here is popping in. Come in here. Hey there, Ryan. We're just getting started here. Are you comfortable with us recording this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my name is actually Bob. Ryan is my brother. I must be logged in as him.
Oh, that's fine. I will write your name down as Bob.
I was a bit confused there for a second before I saw that.
All right. So I was just letting the other players here know, and that would be Nick and Pete, that this game, Yokai Hunters Society, is part of Nerdburger Con, which is benefiting the Trevor Project, which is to help at-risk LGBTQ plus members of the youth community here. And if you are so inclined, of course, all of the events are free, but if you are so inclined to donate to the project, you can do so via the Nerdburger Games website, which is at www.nerdburgergames.com/Nerdburger-Con. And there's a link there. And Nerdburger is providing additional funding based on the amount of funding that comes in from participants. So it's not exactly a dollar for dollar match, but it is, I believe it's essentially a 20% match. For every $500, they're adding an additional $100 to the pot.
Every bit helps.
Yeah, so every little bit helps. This is a kind of a good project there for that. So before we get started with the actual game, let's spend a little bit of time going over lines and veils. I did make mention in the description of the game that there are a couple of there's a bit of content warning here on this. There's graphic violence towards animals, specifically monkeys, off-screen kidnapping, and off-screen enslavement. But let's go over lines and veils. If you're not familiar with lines and veils, a line is something that we will completely eliminate from the game. There will be no mention of it whatsoever. There will be a line drawn on it. It will not be included in the game in any way. A veil is something that we can have in the game, but it would be sort of off screen, not greatly described, something that can be included, but we won't get into the details of that. I'll get us started here, and I'm just going to put a line on sexual assaults. We'll not have any sexual assault or any violence based on exclusively based on gender or sexual orientation. So I'm setting lines on those. We won't include either one of those things, as not to say that violence couldn't happen towards either one of those, any of those groups of people, but it will not be specifically because of gender or sexual orientation. Does anybody have any lines or veils that they would like to add to the game?
I want to put a veil on sexual content in general, but other than that, that's it.
That is not a problem whatsoever. Sounds good.
I'm good with the mentioned already.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Very good then. Now, I did not make pre-generated characters because the character generator is so simple to use that a pre-generation method is already provided for you. Has anybody had an opportunity to take a look at the character generator and make characters as of yet?
Yep.
Is there a link to that? I didn't see it.
I will make a link for you. It is in the description of the game on the Discord, but I am more than happy to post it here as well. Post this right here if I possibly can. I will post it in the chat. So if you click on this generator, it
there.
will immediately and automatically create for you a character, a name, a gender, a description of your mask, a very brief description on what your character sort of looks like, and the statistics, hit points, curse resistance, and a listing of equipment. So we'll go briefly over kind of what all of this means. And I will say this too, if you don't like the option that you get, just go ahead and refresh it and it'll do another option for you. You're welcome to do this as many times as you'd like. Don't feel constrained by whatever option is given to you. You should choose something that you feel suits your needs. Just to kind of go over the basics, this is a rules-like game, so this won't take very long, but the four statistics, or the four, they're called, in this game, they're called paths. The four paths are courage, self-control, sharpness, and wisdom. So what all of those specifically mean is courage is for actions that involve impetuosity or anger, such as cutting a limb off of a monster with your katana, jumping on the rooftops, or lifting a heavy oak desk. Self-control is for actions in which it is necessary to remain calm and control one's impulses, such as using your bow to cut the rope from which a partner hangs, hiding a lie, or elegantly performing a tea ceremony. Sharpness is for actions that involve any of your senses, such as spotting someone hiding in the shadows, hearing a conversation from afar, or smelling the incense being burnt in the next door. And wisdom is for actions that require certain knowledge or prudent and thoughtful behavior, such as making a talisman, knowing the weak points of a certain yokai, or properly addressing a noble. Essentially, you have 4 points that are distributed amongst those 4 paths, and none of them can be higher than a 2. So you could essentially have like a +2 and a +2. You could have a +2, a +1, a +1, and a +0. Or you could have +1 across all 4 attributes. So those are kind of how those are kind of put together. Your starting hit points are equal to 8 plus your courage points. So you're likely going to have somewhere in the range of, you're going to have in the range of 8 to 10 hit points to start with. And your curse resistance tracker starts with 2 plus your self-control points. Now, curse resistance, and I'll get into this a little bit more in a second, but curse resistance is, it relates to something called the cursed die, which is something which you can add to your rolls later on. And it's a useful mechanic to help you succeed at certain skills. It doesn't really come into play until your curse resistance gets to 1, and then it starts to become an issue. Just keep that in mind, because essentially the more curse resistance points you have over 1, the more times you can add a special die to your roll without it becoming an issue. None of this is super important to kind of get into your mind right now, but I'm just kind of throwing some details out here. You don't have to remember any of this. I'll make all of this clear as we're playing. And then finally, let's get to equipment. Sen is the standard currency in the game. So in the character that I've randomly rolled, it says 50 times 1d3 sen per day. Money is not really going to come into play in this one-off. This will be, everybody will start with enough money to purchase anything that would come in game. But that's the just to kind of give you a quick rundown of that. And then you'll notice that each of you has 3 pieces of equipment. In the case of my character that I've randomly rolled, I have a rope, and it says +2, a 3-piece suit, and it says +3, and Shenfu, which is a talisman, and it says +2. these items relate to your character and who your character is. So my character is considered a lawyer. That's like the character basis. So I have a 3-piece suit. Makes my character look good. In situations where I might be able to use the items listed, I'm allowed to add that modifier to my roll. But it's not my job as the game master to tell you when you can add those modifiers. It's your job as the player to make an argument as to why you should be able to use one of your items. You're only allowed to use the bonuses from any one item during any one roll, but it's something that you like. That's the narrative component of the game, is you want to be making arguments in your favor as to why you should be able to do certain things. So maybe you're fighting something and you want to use your rope to try to lasso it. Then you could say, then I would say, sure, you get a +2 bonus to your roll because you're using a rope. I have a rope that gives me a +2. I'm going to use the rope in that combat roll. In addition to your item, you'll also add the relevant path. So if in a situation like combat, it would likely be courage +1, rope +2, and then I would add so I'd have a +3 modifier to that roll. Speaking of rolls, yes, go ahead, Nick. You had a question?
The plus on the items are like added to any roll I do, not like where this is involved. Like it could be self-control or courage or sharpness, just the way I use it.
That's exactly right. And it's
right,
kind of
good.
encouraged that you as players come up with ways to creatively use the items you have, because you might have some weird item. Like I know I've run this game before, and one of the characters had a gourd and ended up using the gourd to pour lamp oil in, and they had a rope. They attached the gourd to the rope, swung the lamp oil gourd to hit a creature with, to splash them with lamp oil. I gave them the gourd bonus in that example to splash the oil onto the creature. So you want to think about this as like, and I, as a game master in general, am very, very open to creative solutions provided by the players. So be creative. Pete knows. Pete's played many of my games before. So I encourage creativity. So don't be scared to be creative with that. Let's go over kind of the basic rules here of the game as well. And we'll do this very briefly. It's really, really easy. Everything is a 2d6 roll. Everything is a 2d6 roll. I encourage you to use real dice. If you do not have real dice, then just look online for dice rolling, a dice roller online and roll it on there. I am not going to be checking your rolls, and we're going to be doing the honor system here. I sort of feel like if you cheat at RPGs, then that's your problem, and I'm not going to worry about that. So I encourage you to use real dice, but you don't have to if you don't want to. There's also a D8 that comes into play every now and then, and that's when you're using your cursed die. So let's go over how the rules work. In every circumstance, the players do the rolling. I never roll against you. It's always you reacting to what is happening. So you will always make a roll when your character is interacting with something. I will always ask you to make a roll. And generally speaking, I'm going to be the one who determines what path you're to roll in a given circumstance. You roll 2d6. You add your path and any item that you're attempting to use along with it that is relevant to the situation, and you come up with a total. For most actions, a 10 is a success. That's pretty much any normal action. A 10 is considered a success. A 9 is considered a success with complications, and anything less than that is considered a failure. 9 is considered a success with complications because in Japan, the number 9 is considered to be bad luck. And the sound of the number 9 in Japanese, it sounds like the word suffering. So anytime you roll a 9, even if it's not a success, it's considered a success with complications. So 9 is like the unlucky number. So you'll always succeed at what you're trying to do if you roll a 9, but there might be some weirdness that comes out of it. And that's when I get to be creative as the game master to come up with the complications that you might go through in that. For the most part, again, it's going to be a 10 is going to be the difficulty, although there will be rare cases where it might be a little less than that, and rare cases where it might be a little bit more than that. I'll let you know in those circumstances. There's also advantage and disadvantage. On occasion, you might be in a particularly advantageous or disadvantageous circumstance. In those cases, instead of rolling 2d6, you'll roll 3d6. If you're at advantage, then you choose the best 2 d6s that you roll, and you add those together. If you're at disadvantage, you have to take the 2 lowest dice, and that will be your result. Lastly is the curse die. So I mentioned everybody has a curse resistance score. It's 2. The curse resistance is 2 plus your, what did I tell you?
Self-control.
Self-control, right. 2 plus your self-control. So if you'd like to risk your soul to potentially help you improve a single action, you can add a cursed die to your roll, the D8, and discard your lowest roll. If the result on the cursed die is greater than your actual cursed resistance points, you attract bad luck and you lose a point of curse resistance. Now, you still get the benefit of the die, but your curse resistance goes down 1 point. If your curse resistance ever goes down to 0, you are cursed. And every other roll from then on is at disadvantage. Now, you can actually remove your curse, but you have to visit a sacred place and pay the cost of the cleanse, which is usually some sort of quest. So during this one-off, that will not come into play. So if your curse resistance roll goes down to a 0, you're going to be playing the rest of the game with disadvantage. I'm just going to tell you now in advance. So be prepared. So keep that in mind, that when you get down to 1 curse resistance, you're really playing with fire if you want to go and roll your curse die. That's basically all of the dice rolling mechanics, but I want to tell you really quickly about how combat works, and then we'll get started. Combat is again, you'll be making all of the rolls. You'll have your target number. The average target number is usually 10. You essentially roll to hit, or if a creature attacks you, you'll still be rolling to hit. You are in a combat with them. If you roll equal to or higher than the target, if you roll equal to the target number, it's a stalemate. Neither one of you takes any damage. If you roll higher than the target number, for every point higher than the target number, you do a point of damage. For every point lower than the target number, you take damage. Is that clear? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple. Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
No, I was just saying it makes sense. I gotta go grab my dice real quick, if you don't mind.
Take your time. No problem. All right, so those are all the rules. Does anybody have do you have any questions before we get started? Again, I'm just doing a quick overview for all of you. You don't need to know all of this. I have a very good grasp of the rules, and I'll be walking us through every single encounter. And before you know it, it'll be so intuitive, there won't even be an issue.
Yeah.
Let me, and I will share with all of you let's see here, very quickly. I will share with you all this. 2-page.
And I'm back.
Very
Welcome
good.
back.
Good.
I am sharing with you all a 2-page rules cheat sheet.
So far we're still seeing Photoshop with Nerdburger Con.
Yeah, you should. That's exactly
right,
what's
good.
up on the screen. But if you access the chat, I believe it might be for you. If you go up to the very top, a bar will descend and you can click on the chat and it'll open the chat in the center of your screen where you can download the cheat sheet.
I got it.
It says we don't have permission to save it.
Oh, you don't have
I'm a bit
permission?
Maybe that's just on my end.
I'm just seeing the generate character creator.
Yeah, I didn't have permission to open it outright. I had to save it.
Oh.
I'm not seeing anything on each cheat sheet, to be honest.
Oh,
I'm
weird.
going to the chat and scroll up. Or what?
Okay.
I'm confused.
Okay. Well, it should be there, but if it's not, don't really stress about it because the rules are so simple. And again, it's just everything
right.
we just went over. So I will be happy to do that. So I'm going to ask you all a sort of a personal question or a question for the group here as we're about to get started. I have 2 options for you. We can either, apparently I can only share with you screen images, or I can share with you all of the music and sound effects that I have. I can't do both of them. Would you prefer to play entirely theater of the mind with music and sound effects, or would you prefer to play no music and sound effects, but I will give you maps and icons?
I would prefer the maps and icons, but I'm good either way if the other 2 guys are good.
Same for me.
Okay, I was on the spot. Put me on the spot here, right?
Well, I've got a 2 out of 3 vote, so
Yeah.
I will show you icons then. That's perfectly fine. That's very good. Here we go, and we will start with being here.
Why would they only let you have one or the other? This is a weird platform.
I know. I'm shocked actually. Let's see here. It's because I'm trying to share 2 separate programs. They're only letting me share one at a time. Okay, you should all see the village map now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and get started here then, and I will give you the details of everything here. Sip of water. One last thing. We have to have a firm stop at 2.5 hours from right now. We have a firm stop because it's a convention. Approximately 1 hour from now, we will take a 5 to 10 minute bio break. So we will have a little bit of a mid-session break.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome again to Yokai Hunters Society, our one-shot here for the Nerdburger Con. This adventure takes place in and around the village of Tsuyoshi. The town lies midway between Yamaguchi and Iwakuni in the Suwō Province, which lies on the southern tip of the main island of Japan, one of the many provinces in what is called the Chugoku region. It's 1890, 1 year after the adoption of the Meiji Constitution, which established the emperor as ruler of all of the Empire of Japan and solidified the end of the Han system of governance. While much of the country around the cities in the north have transitioned, or at least began the process of transitioning, from a feudal system into a more modern industrialized nation state, many of the rural areas, like Suwō Provence, continue to operate by the old ways. Moving the capital from Kyoto to Tokyo didn't help matters either, as southern figures of power felt emboldened by the increased physical distance between they and the Imperial Army. In Suwō, there are several wealthy landowners, or Daimyo, who split control of the land and only give lip service to the local Mieji-appointed governor of the region. All are members of the Mōri Clan, although that doesn't prevent them from having sometimes bloody conflicts over land or resources. The aged samurai Mōri Yakimura, cousin of the daimyo Mōri Kenshin, has acted as administrator of the village of Tsuyoshi since his retirement, his guidance resulting in nearly 2 decades of peace. Several weeks ago, however, the town's sacred golden monkey idol was stolen from the temple, and since then numerous women, including Yukimura's daughter Sakura, have been abducted by a Zorgami, a wickedly intelligent giant monkey. It's up to the Yokai Hunters Society to recover the sacred artifact and deal with the threat one way or another. So the 3 of you are members of the Yokai Hunter Society. You all have occupations by day, living out your normal lives in villages around the country, but are often gathered together as members of the secret society to deal with threats, not only to the emperor, but to the local population. As I said, you have traveled to Tsuyoshi to seek out this Samagori, this Sarugami, this monkey-like creature, and see what can be done about this threat. Finally see the village ahead of yourselves. You've been spending the last few days sort of in travel and getting to know each other a little bit better. So why don't we start with character introductions? And I'm going to put you on the spot, Nick. Go ahead and give us your character.
All right. I'm playing Kaneko Mayumi. She's female. She's 19-year-old, handsome and a timid farmer who lost their memory, and now she seeks for an ancient artifact of great power. Should I come up with an idea of what this artifact is I'm looking for?
Sure.
Could this be like maybe the what was it, like a monkey mask or something? Could
Perhaps.
that be something that I'm looking for?
That could be. It can be whatever you choose.
Yeah, maybe it's like a mask that helps, like if I wear it, it's like helps me getting into my like let's me like look into the past, so I can recover a few memories maybe if I'm looking into my past with this magical mask.
Okay. Okay. Why don't we move to you, Pete?
My name is Yamaguchi Akemi. I'm a 36-year-old frustrated and disagreeable beggar who left everything behind for the society and seeks an ancient artifact of great power. My mask resembles an okina, an old man. And my artifact of great power will be a enchanted staff that allows me to work for the society without anybody else.
Nice. Spell your character's name out for me, would you?
Yamaguchi Akemi.
Okay, and of course in Japanese, the names are inverted. So
Okay.
Akemi is character's name. And finally, Bob.
All right. Now I'm gonna be honest, the character generator always gave me some traits I did like and some traits I couldn't really work with. So I'm gonna change like one of them.
That's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
So I'm gonna go with like a 28-year-old narcissistic and brave hunter, farmer rather, who had a near-death experience and seeks help. The name is Matsuo Tomiko. The mask resembles a kitsune.
Ooh, nice. And
What?
what's that?
Kid snake?
Kitsune, the fox.
Ah, all right.
And spell the your character's first name for me, would you?
Tomiko.
I forgot to mention my mask. I'm wearing a Obubemishi, a golden-eyed protector Tengu. So Tengu was like this bird person thing. So kind of like a bird face. Why do we wear this masks? Why do we have this? Like just from the narrative?
Okay, so the mask is, we kind of worked this out when I've played this previously. The mask is meant to be worn when you are actually fighting monsters. It's sort of the connection to your fighting or to your monster hunting moments. Whereas perhaps when you're information gathering or, you know, in sort of dialogue with folks, you might not be wearing the mask. And it's really up to you how you would like to sort of define the mask in play. When previously, when I've run this, folks have sort of acted out that there is something about them, their character, that is manifested in their mask. So they kind of acted a bit. We had somebody who was like a wolf, and they kind of took on some of the mannerisms of the wolf in their play of the character. But that's open to interpretation. All of you can decide to do as you see fit.
Sounds cool.
All right, so you move your way into town, and the group of you have been having an opportunity to speak here and there. There are a number of homes built along the river, and even beyond the bounds of what you see here on the map that I've shared with you. To the east and the west, there are homes sort of built along the river in either direction. And there's a number of these homes sort of gathered together in the center of town. But there are also a few places of interest. If you look at the map, sort of near the center of the map, there's one very large building. And that is essentially the tavern. It is the inn and the izakaya, the drinking house. It is a place where you might gather rest and food and beverage from your journeys. There is a Buddhist temple, which is in the top right corner of the map, which you can kind of see there. And then at the very top of the map is Mōri Yukimura's home, the retired samurai who administers the village of Tsuyoshi. And then, of course, there are just a number of homes and small farms right here as you enter in. Now, as you begin to move your way into the town, and I'll let you just tell me where you would like to head, but as you begin to move your way into town, you can hear in the distance, beyond the sounds of the river tumbling over rocks and the breeze blowing through the trees and the bamboo. And this is sort of in the low rises of the mountainous region. So there's a lot of sort of wilderness beyond the town. You hear the distant call of monkeys howling back and forth, talking to each other in a language, of course, that none of you can understand. But it seems pervasive and something that is going to be likely in your ears for as long as you are here. Where would you like to go?
What daytime is it? Like we're arriving, so maybe afternoon,
mid-afternoon.
evening?
Yeah, mid-afternoon. Mm-hmm. The sunlight is traveling lightly through the trees, kind of casting dappled light. The pathway is mostly open because farms are on either side, and you're passing between the the walls of individual farms, but it's a sunny day. You see people working out in the fields. Some look up to take notice of you, but most don't. This is a way stop along the way between the larger cities of Yamaguchi and Iwakuni in the Suwō Province. So it's not uncommon for travelers to be passing through.
Maybe we should first get some place to stay and head to the inn.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and it's also going to be a good place to do some info gathering.
Yes. Quick question, since I'm quite new to this yokai hunting. We're a secret society, right? So we don't tell everyone that we are yokai hunters, right?
That's right. Yes.
Good.
Good to know.
So you head to the izakaya, the drinking house and inn, passing through the open doorway, and there are a number of people within. Although it is not a typical mealtime, given that it's sort of the middle of the afternoon. But there are a number of people in having animated conversation. A man is leaning up against what would you most closely resemble sort of a bar at the back made of thick bamboo, wearing sort of simple black clothing. He's got a towel in his hand. Looks like he's kind of every now and then wiping down at the little bar, and then sort of interspersing little taps on the sweat on his head. It's a bit warm today, but he's also obviously warmed by the heat of the conversation that's happening amongst several of the locals. There's an older man, seems to be in his, I would say maybe in his 50s, balding on top, stringy hair running down by his side into a ponytail. Looks to be a farm worker, although you can tell he's got somebody who's been working out in the sun. He's got the build of a farmer, as perhaps Tamiko you might recognize, being a farmer yourself. Is seems to be arguing with a woman who's about his age, who appears to be highly agitated. She's stomping a cane onto the floorboards of the izakaya. "We should go after this creature. It is taking our women," she says. "You are a fool, Miki. It would only bring us death. I too wish to recover my daughter. But I am no fighting man, and you are no fighting woman, despite the actions of your cane." And they kind of they're going back and forth, arguing over the details of it. And you can see the proprietor looks more and more concerned. There's a group of 3 or 4 other seemingly local citizens kind of keeping an eye on things, seeming to await judgment on what they may or may not do. The proprietor, seeing you 3 enter, seems relieved to have something to do other than deal with fighting between the locals. "Please come in. Ignore them. They are dealing with a local dispute. Come, have a seat. I will get you food and drink. You look weary from the road."
Excuse me, what are they talking about? Am I in danger as a young woman here? It's a bit intimidating what they are speaking.
No. You are in no danger.
Who
Come,
wants
sit.
you?
You are no danger in the izakaya. Come.
All right, great.
Is that sound always this bad?
Ah, you mean the monkeys. They are sacred to us. It is not bad. It is the sound of the sacred being speaking to us, knowing that they are protecting us. Do not worry.
Not
The
worried,
woman
just
says,
annoyed.
they are not protecting us. They are here to take our women. And the man says, shut your mouth.
Are
Shut your mouth, woman.
monkeys interested in human women now? I missed this development.
The proprietor puts his hand in his head. The older woman, who was identified as Miki, says, yes, there is a Sarugami. It has gone wild. This great beast has come to take our women. The man says, it is true. My daughter, Miwako, and Miki's daughter, Iori, have both been taken by this beast.
Hmm.
And none of you have tried to rescue them.
The Miki looks self-satisfied by that comment and looks over to the man. Ah, you see, Razan, it is your job to go and rescue them. If you do not, I will. And he says, it is not my job. It is the temple. They are the ones responsible. Since the golden idol has gone missing, and did not Priestess Himiko go and attempt to get our daughters back? And what did she get in return? A beating, a severe beating. And was not our own samurai, the one who has the most chance at defeating this creature, was he not bloodied and defeated himself? Yakimura lies in bed fighting for his life, and you expect us farmers to do something about this?
Yeah, it's always someone else's job, eh, old man?
He gives you a deep scowl.
Any idea why this beast tries to take all the women, all the young women?
Ah, yes, says Miki. It is because our golden idol is vanished. With the idol being gone, our ancient gods, the ancient monkey gods, are angry. They have sent this Sarugami to punish us, for we did not protect the idol. The man says, you are fools, all of you. He throws his hands into the air and stomps out of the izakaya.
Local gods sound kind of mean.
Well, you know what? If they can't get it together to rescue their daughters, why don't they look for the idol?
Any idea what happened to that idol?
Miki says, that is a good question. One that Priestess Himiko should be answering. That she spends all of her time in meditation, prayer, hoping that the Buddha will save us. It is not the Buddha who will save us. It is fists and canes. And she raises her cane into the air.
I like her.
Yeah, she's cool.
All right, well, let's go get Sleeping Beauty and figure out what she knows.
Where do we find this priestess in the temple?
I'm guessing temple.
I guess.
If
She is in the temple, yes. Likely on her knees, praying to the Buddha when she should be recovering what she has lost. Some of the others are nodding their head, like the others that are gathered seem to have fallen to her side now that the man Razan has stepped away. They're all like, yes, we should do something about this. I agree. Even even the samurai's daughter was taken. How could we stay here and do nothing? You hear them saying.
Well, that's what they've been doing so far. We going to talk to this woman, Miki. You want to come with us?
Perhaps I should. One of the other people says, but we should gather the villagers. If we are going to do something, perhaps it's best that we gather the villagers and let these outsiders speak with her. Miki, you have already spoken your mind to her many times. And it was not convincing then. I do not believe it will be convincing now. She says, She kind of does a spitting motion to the side, although she doesn't actually spit on the floor.
I'll be quiet. Miki's the only one to use with any balls.
Yes, you hear this, Taro? But I do believe he speaks truth. I and Priestess Himiko, we do not have the best of terms. I will go and speak to the other villagers and tell them that we will no longer stand for this. Perhaps the three of you can go and speak with her. Convince her of what I could not.
All right. Fight the power.
All right. Shall we maybe first grab something to eat when we're already here? I'm quite hungry from the journey.
I guess we can get you a to-go box. Would you like a Happy Meal?
Yeah, so you get a spread of food. They have agadashi tofu, which is a deep fried tofu in broth. Kushiyaki, which is a grilled meat or vegetable skewers, and then of course edamame, boiled and salted soybean pods. And then there's beer, biru, nihanshu, which is sake, and then water and green tea is available as well. So you can kind of eat your fill. And also
I'll stick to the green tea. I want to stay sober.
Yeah, green tea
while
sounds
drunk.
great.
Bring on the sake.
Okay. Akimi
So,
is,
how is the priestess's name spelled? Hime or Himiko?
it's Himiko, so it's Himiko.
Okay.
Thank you.
I needed to know which pun I was going to make when I meet her.
All right, so you eat up, you get yourselves rooms for the evening, when the time will come, and you head further into town, and the sound as you get closer and closer to the northern portion of town, the sound of the monkeys only gets louder and louder in your ears. And
I'm gonna kill a monkey.
you may just do that. And before long, it's kind of echoing in your ears. You begin to cross the bridge. You cross the bridge over the river, heading towards the Buddhist temple. You can see the compound where Mōri Yukimura calls home, the retired samurai, kind of heading in a path off to the left. But you approach the temple, and I will show you a picture of this.
Oh, nice little monkey.
Nice little monkey.
It's so cute.
So you approach the temple. You are moving closer to it, towards it. And the temple is obviously ancient. It's been here for a long time. It's probably been reconsecrated towards Buddha, as there are some markings which indicate an ancient adherence to worship of monkey god or monkeys. And there is one of these macaw monkeys sitting upon the steps, watching you approach, making chittering sounds towards you as you move closer and closer. And its brows sort of furrow together as you get nearer towards it. It does not look happy at your approach. And you can hear it kind of raises its mouth and head and makes a loud cry into the air, to which several other monkeys menacingly respond from the woods nearby. And you stand, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 feet, or I'll say 5 to 8 meters away from the stairs at this point. That monkey sort of staring down at you, not seeming to be particularly moved to get away from you. It's not particularly large. It's probably about half your size. And it's not particularly menacing as a single monkey. But the amount of calls as you're hearing from the distance certainly is off-putting, we'll say. What would you like to do?
So it's still just the one that we can see. We just hear them getting closer.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right then.
Can't live your life in fear.
Yeah. I mean, my courage is 0, but
Well, maybe you can.
which is funny because my character description says brave.
Well, so now here's an interesting thing about that. So consider stats in 2 ways. A 0 is average human. So you are all above average. That's essentially what it is. So 0 is average. If you have brave, because you are brave in your character description, that may be the perfect opportunity for you to have advantage in a circumstance where bravery is called for.
Ah, perfect.
So that's how it would be kind of work. And I would encourage all of you to make those arguments when those incidents come up.
Oh, perfect.
Character. So you move up towards the temple and begin to climb the stairs. And the monkey does not move one bit away from its spot, just staring up at you. It just looks like an angry monkey, and its mouth opens and you can see these rows of teeth just kind of silently. And then as you get like right next to it, it just steps, kind of stands up straight, and then just sort of turns the side and slowly moves into the forest, not looking back at all.
That's what I thought.
That's what you get. So just to let you all know, I've got a courage of +1 and a self-control of 0, so it's gonna be fun.
Hey, that's what I have in real life.
Nice. All right, so you move up into the temple, and as you do, there is it is a very sparsely furnished room. It's an open floor plan, pillars holding up the center of the temple within. There are very clean, but seems to be kind of old floor planks. There is a table upon which there is a tea set, a small table with a tea set on it. A flower arrangement has been put together on the back wall. Having traveled here, you can see that these flowers and plants which put together the arrangement are locally derived. You've noticed some of these particular organic elements as you've been traveling up. And then you can see the shrine to the Buddha. And it is Buddha, but it has numerous elements of like primate elements kind of included in it. Like it's got the big Buddha belly, but the arms are like extended long, like a monkey's arms would be. And there's a tail. Yeah. And there's a tail wrapping around the Buddha, and its ears are a little bit longer. Its face is like, the Buddha's face is half human, half kind of monkey look. And then there's a pedestal to the right side of your entrance. That it's a very old pedestal, and in the bit of the light that's filtering in through there isn't really windows, but there's the rice paper walls within the internal chamber, and there's some light coming from outside. With that light that's filtering in, you can even see kind of an outline of something that would have been on that pedestal that's missing right now. And most importantly, of course, you see the priestess Himiko, which I will show you a picture of right now.
Interesting. She's a young woman as well. Are we aware?
She's kneeling in front of the shrine. Seems to be in a sort of meditative state. Go ahead, Nick.
Do we know if it's like a common thing to mix Buddha with like local deities, like the monkey? Is it like a typical thing, or this is just like really odd?
A lot of these more rural locations, yes, that's pretty typical. You would have, because there's still this kind of mixing of these more primitive cult, like, ancient sort of cults that have filtered through these cultures for a really, really long time. And much, and to sort of introduce Buddhism was a sort of combination of those more ancient rituals with the more modern Buddhist teachings. So it's pretty common.
That's how Shintoism was founded, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm going to walk up to greet the priestess here.
Yeah, as you get closer, she seems to sense your steps and does a bow down before the shrine, and then she puts her hands together briefly, and then she pushes herself up to turn to greet you. Visitors to the temple, may I call you welcome? I am Himiko. I am the priestess here.
Himiko the Miko, nice. Miko is the priestess.
Yeah, this is Himiko, the priestess.
No, I mean, the term Miko means priestess, so I was making a pun on that.
Oh, funny.
Nice.
Yeah, she kind of smiles. You can see a certain sadness in her eyes. She's happy, glad to have you. And there's a number of offerings around the shrine. Quite a few offerings around the shrine, actually. Bits of food, and you even see a couple of farming implements. A couple of coins here and there. There's a number of candles burning as well. A couple of pieces of calligraphy laid down, blessings basically around the statue. She says, please do not allow me to stop you from engaging with the Buddha. I will be here if you need anything.
Yeah, you're good at that.
She kind of looks a bit confused, but steps to the side.
We're actually here for having some questions for you. We heard in the Isaka, was Isaka the tea house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Isaka about there's the young woman being taken by some monkey beasts, and about the missing golden statue, golden idol.
She looks very sad when you say that.
We're hoping to get a bit more information about this whole topic.
Yes. She says, this is a plague upon our village. The golden monkey idol was a treasure, a relic, an artifact to this temple, was stolen. And since that time, we have been harassed by the Zorgami. The monkey god of ancient times has been angered. First, it began with the kidnapping, the taking of Mōri Yukimura's daughter, Sakura. The most beautiful woman in all of the village. When she was taken, I had hoped to retrieve her. I hoped to beseech to this Zorgami that it was not our fault that the idol was taken, to not punish us, but I was set upon by his monkeys. And you can see now that you kind of like look at her, you can see under the makeup, the grease paint that is, on her face, and you can see like the faded yellow of old bruises kind of like on her face and around her neck. She says, from there, Miwako and Yori were taken. One woman per week. It has been yet another week, and the monkeys grow restless. I am afraid that soon they will strike again if we cannot retrieve the golden idol or drive the Zorgami away.
Well, y'all have done a terrible job at driving the Zorgami away, so let's talk about that idol. Do you have any idea who might have taken it, where it might have gone?
Says, I am not sure. I was in my home, resting as I do after spending an evening at the temple, and when I returned the following morning, it was gone. I suspect that this has to do with politics beyond what I know. Mōri Yukimura is, of course, a member of the Mōri Clan, and they are known to fight each other, although we have seen little of that over the past 2 decades. She looks really particularly sad.
Any idea why they tend to fight each other so much?
Says, why do men fight? Money, power, land.
Fair enough. It's just odd for a clan to war amongst itself so much. Civil war is supposed to be the exception, not the rule.
It is beyond what I understand. I am a spiritual woman.
So here's the question, Emiko. Of these warring groups, how many of them have daughters?
I do not know. I am not familiar with all of the family line and the Mōri clan.
I imagine most of them would have some daughters.
Possibly, but it stands to reason if one of them has the idol and they haven't been personally affected, they would have no reason to try to give it back. If someone's daughter was taken, that would be a reason.
So we're looking for a statistical anomaly here.
It's a place to start. You got a better idea?
Fair enough. We should probably talk to the Daimyo himself if he's awake.
Oh, we'll wait.
Conscious.
Yes, you could speak with Mōri Yakamura. He is bedridden. But if you are here to deal with the Sarugami, then certainly he would be happy to speak with you.
All right. So how many women are missing in total?
There are 3 gone now, but I fear that we are due for another attack.
All right.
So we're fighting the clock.
Yes.
All right, time to go talk to Mōri.
I guess now we know what inspired Donkey Kong.
Yep.
All right, so do you take your leave then and head over to the samurai's property?
It seems to be the best place to go next.
Yes.
Let's see here.
And don't worry, Mayumi. Hopefully we'll find this before it's your turn.
Yes, hope so. But yeah, we'll be good.
She says, I do not believe the creature wishes me, or else it would have taken me when I attempted to bring Sakura home. She kind of bows her head.
One last question, Priestess. Do you know whether or not these women are still alive?
I do believe they are. I did not get close enough, but from the legends of the Sarugami, the creature is not one to kill these women, but instead to enslave them, keep them as beautiful objects for him to observe. Like we might cage an animal at a zoo, he would cage these women for his own enjoyment.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Clock is definitely still ticking then. We got some place to be. We'll be back.
Okay, so you head on over to the samurai's home. And Mōri Yakamura's home is it's a larger building. And with a large garden to the west. And you can see that there's like a number of people kind of working in the garden, and as you approach the house, a young man, you would probably guess his, what essentially would be his personal assistant, approaches you. He says, and he bows to you. He says, I am sorry, but the samurai is ill. He is not taking visitors.
That's good, because we're not visitors. We're investigators.
Great. He looks up, pulls his hat from his head, looks kind of nervous and worried. He says, investigators? You come from the government?
No.
Yes.
He kind of looks confused.
We are from the government, right?
He says he was gravely injured in an attack on his home when his daughter Sakura was taken.
We know.
If you are investigators, I will see if he is able to speak with you. Wait here a moment.
Yes.
And he steps away, and a couple of minutes he comes back and he says, Mōri Yakamura is quite ill, but he has agreed to speak with you. Please take care. Do not raise his blood too high and heavy. I do not wish him to open the wounds that have yet still to heal. Okay, so you head in, and it's although he is the administrator, the town administrator, and obviously has money, the assistant leads you through a couple of rooms, and it's not overly ostentatious by any means, but you're led into the samurai's bedroom, and it's very warm in the room. There are fresh flowers within as well. There's a pitcher of water there, and looks like a couple of cups, although doesn't look like he's drank a lot of water. And you see the former samurai laying on the bed.
Hey, the former samurai looks a lot like that shrine maiden we just talked to. What's going on here? Ah, okay.
He's obviously an elderly man. He's lying down in bed. His white beard and hair is sort of like covered in sweat. He's breathing laboriously. You can hear sort of a rattle in his breath as he's breathing. Come closer.
My kind of
Do
man, so big and so strong. Come a little bit.
I dishonor you by not raising myself from the bed. I am Mōri
It is fine.
Yukimura, administrator. My assistant tells me that you are investigating the Zorgami and my daughter Sakura's disappearance, as well as the other women of the village. Come, tell me, what do you need?
Yes, thank you for welcoming us. And no worries, we are not dishonored by you not raising in your condition. It's totally fine. I'm Kane Kumayumi. We are investigating the occurrences here. So what do you know about all these missing women? When is your daughter went missing?
3 weeks ago, it was late at night. I was finishing some administrative work when I heard a loud crash. I will tell my assistant to allow you to see the room. But I heard a loud crash. I ran in to Sakura's room to see what was happening. And there I saw a creature unlike anything I had seen before.
Tell us about this creature, please.
A beast, a monkey, but one that stood on 2 legs like a man. Much taller than the tallest man I had ever seen. Should I be standing upon 2 legs and reaching my sword above my head, surely its tip would barely reach the peak of this beast's head.
Ah, so a gorilla.
Large. I have heard of this gorilla, but the Zorgami's fur was brown, and it seemed to be a different type of monkey, one I had never seen before. Its two strangely wore clothes of a man, suit of sorts. Quickly it grabbed a hold of my Sakura. I grabbed my sword as quickly as I can and ran for the beast. As I swung down my blade, of which I had spent decades of my life in great training, the beast swung back its free hand, clawing across my guts, ripping holes into me. Never have I felt a blow so strong and fierce.
So this was 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks.
So that means your daughter was the first woman taken.
Yes, I have been told that Imada Miwako and Mizuko Iori too have been taken. And Miki, Iori's mother, has come to my door many times, but I am not able to raise myself and bring my sword to bear upon the Zorgami. I would track it into the woods. I would track it into the woods and not only retrieve the women which have been taken, but ensure that this beast no longer lays its prey upon any of us or anyone ever again.
Did you got your injuries? Sorry?
He says, alas, I am unable to do that. And you can see now that you're kind of close up to him, and like, you know, you can kind of see the covers. He's got a bandage wrapped around his like stomach area, but like the bandage is like crusted in blood, like it's bloody, like even now 3 weeks later. I mean, you can do a more detailed analysis of his condition if you'd like, but it does not look good, we'll say. He's slowly dying of a gut injury is what you would guess.
You're telling me the wonders of 19th century medicine can't save this man?
Believe it or not, I know. They seem to be trying to sweat him out because they've got, like, the room is really hot.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what he needs. Less fluids in his body.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where are the leeches?
So are these injuries from the fight with the beast?
Yes. They will not heal. I do not give up hope. I will see my daughter returned.
Now, we heard there was an artifact stolen from the temple.
Yes.
And that's what apparently caused all of the chaos. How long was it between the artifact disappearing and your daughter disappearing?
I was told that the idol was not in the temple that day. But this is strange. This is where it's strange to me. Priestess Hamiko, she said that she had removed the idol to clean it that morning. That's why it was not in the temple. That's what she had told those who had come to visit the statue that day. But
so she lying.
Then the attack happened. She told, and she said no, that it had truly been stolen. Attack happened that night, the same night as when the idol went missing.
Okay.
I do not wish to cast any dishonor upon Priestess Himiko. She has done nothing but serve our village with honor and respect for all these years, and she and my daughter Sakura share a close bond.
Do you believe that one of the rival members of the clan could have had something to do with this?
No, that is impossible. Although my clan, the Mōri Clan, is known to fight amongst ourselves, I have made peace with my cousins. It is known that my land is a land where all may gather without worry of war or reprisal. None of my cousins would do such a thing. That I can assure you.
Was anything else stolen besides the idol? Like, could it be like just a monetary reason for the stealing? It could be like normal bandits, or
This is possible, and it is of great monetary value. Idol of gold, for sure, yes. But we'd seen no bandits. We'd seen nothing strange. Priestess Himiko there were no signs of any intrusion. It is difficult for outsiders to enter the village of Tsuyoshi without anyone seeing them. If it were anyone, it would have to have been someone from the village. I have seen, no one has brought any details to me of anything strange in that regard. I grow weary. If you have more questions, I may answer them, but no, I must rest.
All right. I think we got everything we can from him right now.
yes.
But I do want to find his assistant for just a minute.
Yeah, his assistant's standing like right there, just kind of waiting to escort you out.
All right. So I'm going to ask the assistant, other than the fact that they're all young women, do the three missing women have anything else in common?
I tell you truth because you are investigators, but I would say that all three of the women are quite pleasing to the eye. Yes, quite desirable. Sakura, in particular, was known as the most beautiful woman in the village.
Oh God, I'm screwed.
All right, so they're all attractive young women. Who, I would say, in the interim, whoever's the best looking woman out of everyone who's left, they are not to be alone at all.
He says, we do not have the resources for that.
There's like, what, 10 people in this town just stay in the same building?
You would think.
Probably if you consider like the extended farms and stuff like that kind of come out, there's probably 100 people, like, 100 villagers, you might say.
All right. But yeah, you can still like have at least 2 families per household. Each farmhold has to have several family members. Just make sure everyone's in pairs at all times.
He says that might be something that could be possible, but he looks down. He looks over at Mōri Yukamura, who is now like passed out back into sleep, and you can hear that rattling breath as he's struggling to breathe. He says, "But with Mōri Yukamura in his condition, there is nobody in the town who could convince the people of a plan that all would follow. Everyone is at odds with each other about what to do.
Oh, they'll listen to
his
me.
leadership."
Speaking of which, we
not
should go
always
hunt her.
the loudest is the one who is most heard.
That sounds like Mickey.
She speaks softly and carries a big stick.
All right, so we'll take a pause here now.
Problem.
We'll take a pause here. We're at the halfway point, as promised. I want to allow for a 5 to 10 minute break here. So we'll take a pause and we'll pick back up right from this point. So take your break, and we will be right back with more Yokai Hunters Society
After these messages.
All right, so yeah, so you've stepped out of Mōri Yukimura's home, and you're kind of talking with his assistant. And at this point, the sun has started to go down. It's getting darker, casting long shadows. And you can hear the rising of the monkey voices getting louder and louder as the sun sets. And you can see sort of a tension amongst the villagers that you can see further into the town. Those who are like, working in the farms or moving their carts from one place to another or whatever. They're quickening their paces. They're kind of like looking up, looking disconcerted. These are just normal villagers. These aren't sword-wielding maniacs in masks. So they seem quite disturbed and uncomfortable by the circumstances. What would you like to do?
Did we ask anyone what daytime the monkeys attack?
The middle of the night.
All right.
Is there like a soapbox or like an elevated platform I can just hop atop of and just start announcing something?
So if you look at the map, there is kind of a V that is created near the top. And then there is a large bell. You see this, like it's right near the river, just south of where the river splits, where there's the split in the river. That's a large bell in the town. And we'll say there's like a platform adjacent to that.
All right. I smacked the bell with my cane after hopping atop the platform to get everyone's attention.
Bong.
Yeah.
We don't
All
like
right.
that.
Yeah. All right. Listen up, everybody.
You see people kind of that are in their homes or sort of stepping out of their homes, and those who are still in the fields, like are propping themselves up on their hoes or their axes, or those who are pushing carts kind of stop a moment, setting the cart down to look up at you.
Here's what we're gonna do. I want you all to go spread word around town that no one is to be alone during the night. Everyone must be traveling in at least a group of 2 when venturing from their homes, and no home may have fewer than 2 people in it. This is to keep at least one person must be on watch at all times throughout the night to spot monkey attacks.
More than 2 is preferable.
Yes. Your farming implements can be used as weaponry. They're monkeys. They're not that tough. I recommend holding your pitchfork up like so. I hold my cane up here. It can be used as an improvised spear line. They use these to stop cavalry. I should know. I've been conscripted before.
Okay, so
windows.
now is a cane an item that you possess?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so go ahead and we're going to. I could make an argument for either self-control or wisdom for this oratory. And of course, you'll get your cane as a bonus. So you can use either wisdom or self-control, whichever one is better for you, for your role.
I'll go with wisdom.
So 2d6 plus your wisdom plus your cane bonus. And tell me what you get.
Eight.
You got a total of 8?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay. So people like hear your diatribe, and I call it a diatribe because you failed. And people are like shaking their heads. Just like you can see people shaking their heads. One farmer just like waves his arm at you, turning around, looking at you obviously as like outsiders who don't understand.
What is wrong with you people? You people are useless.
You're taking on much more of a man standing on a street corner with a giant sign telling people that the end is nigh than you are taking on the look of a leader who should be adhered to, who's giving good advice. So people are kind of, after you're done with your main thing, you're like, what's wrong with you people? And they're all just kind of like walking away, closing their
Okay, I need a higher platform. I'm gonna climb on top of the house.
Yeah, that'll look good.
It's not helping you look any less like the crazy corner preacher by climbing up on top of a house.
Well, if I'm gonna be crazy, I'm gonna be the kind of crazy that people are afraid not to listen to. All right, so I'm gonna be climbing the ladder or
Right.
the steps.
Okay, so Amiki and Mayumi, the two of you, each make a sharpness check. And if you have anything which you think which relates either to, this is to notice something, while Tamiko is climbing up on a house.
Probably.
And if you have anything that might, I'm gonna say, Akimi, you are actually at advantage on that check.
Ooh.
I have a blanket. Does it help? No, of course not. I have an 11 actually.
Oh, that's very good.
Okay, so it's the two best of the die plus my sharpness bonus.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I got a 9.
Ooh, that's a success with complications. Well, first of all, Mayumi, you are looking kind of around as your companion is climbing up onto this house to get a higher platform. And you see Priestess Himiko had exited the temple, and she puts her hands into her face, and just you can see that she's like crying. You can just see her body like racking with sobs, and then she kind of turns, and as she sees everybody ignoring your advice, and moves into the temple. Akimi, you notice the same. Let's see, what would be the complication here? You notice the same. Except for that you also notice that on the bridge between the samurai's home and the rest of the village, you can see a couple of monkeys like climbing, like swinging underneath the bridge to get into the main part of the town.
That's awesome. So they're coming towards town.
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily.
So the river kind of blocked the river between the main part of the town and the Buddhist temple and the home of the samurai. Were basically the monkeys stayed north of the river.
Okay.
But some of them now are using the bridge, essentially the westernmost bridge, and they're swinging underneath that bridge. It looks almost like they're trying to be sneaky about it.
All right, I'm going to get up on that same platform, draw my short sword, and I'm going to yell out, "Monkeys are coming, get inside now."
I think at this point, Mayumi would, like, did Mayumi notice this as well?
I would say, yeah, I'm going to say that Akimi's failure on a 9 was the complication that monkeys started to come across as well. And
All
Tamiko,
right.
I'm going to say, Tamiko, at this point, you're up on top of the building as Akimi. You can see Akimi gets on the other platform, draws the sword.
For God's sake. And after all this hard work getting up here, too.
You wanted to go all in, my friend.
Yeah, I try to leap down dramatically.
Okay, we'll do that in a second, but I think, Mayumi, you wanted to do something?
Yes, I have a Tanegashima matchlock pistol, and I would just like shoot into the air just to like make everyone notice that there's something going on.
Why not shoot one of the monkeys? They'll still hear.
True. Maybe that's like a better idea.
Okay, so I'm going to do this then. So you're kind of aiding each other, and there isn't a specific mechanic for that. Oh, we lost Pete.
Oh no.
He'll be back in a second, I'm sure. There isn't really particularly a mechanic on that, but I'm gonna say, Mayumi, go ahead and this. Oh gosh. Again, self-control or wisdom. Add your pistol bonus to that, and then we're gonna go ahead and give you an advantage on that roll as well because you're being aided by Akimi.
All right. That's an 8.
Oh my gosh, goodness.
I rolled 2 1s and a 4, and I have in total 3 bonus.
Would you like to play
Yes.
your soul to try to see what you can do?
The curse curse?
Yeah,
bonus
so that's
thing?
a D8. Yeah, that's a D8. If you roll
All right.
higher than your curse resistance, then you will lose a curse resistance point because you'll have attracted bad luck.
I have a 3 and a 4 curse resistance, so I'm good.
Okay, so you're replacing one of your 1s for a 3. So that's a 7,
Yes.
and then what's your bonuses?
I
on
get
top?
exactly 3,
Okay.
so I'm exactly at 10.
Okay, so finally it seems that people... Actually, Tamiko, go ahead and make your dramatic leap.
All right. Dun 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 dun. So, do I just do a straight roll there?
Courage, yep. Unless you have anything that will aid you in that.
10.
Good enough. All right. You can describe how your dramatic jump is.
I leap from the roof, somersault through the air, and do one of those 3-point superhero landings.
Nice. Very good. And the crowd suddenly seems jolted into action by Mayumi's blast into the sky, and several birds take flight from the trees, and you hear the monkeys. Well, I mean, I'm gonna say it. They go apeshit as they. And Pete's trying to reconnect right now. His internet crapped out for a second, but he told me he's trying to reconnect now. And you just hear, but it seems as though at least you can see people are like gathering together in their homes and gathering, picking up pitchforks or spades or axes or whatever they can gather. And it seems at least you've been able to convince people to do something. However, 3 monkeys come running out of the bridge at the 3 of you, 1 at each of you, and they come rushing in your direction. So, for the most part,
I would reload my pistol as fast as possible. I think with a matchlock doesn't sound like quick reload.
I think they had breech loading by this point in time, didn't they?
You had what?
Breech loading?
Yeah, sure.
I imagine because the Americans are the ones who introduced gunpowder, right? Or maybe it was the Dutch.
Yeah,
Didn't the Chinese had the first to have gunpowder?
They did, but gunpowder guns didn't become a thing until Europe invented.
True.
The Chinese did have fire lances, which are kind of like a flamethrower type weapon with a modified gunpowder substance. That was pretty cool.
Well, this is given the narrative nature of this game in general and the rules light orientation. I'll kind of leave it to your sensibilities on that, Nick. If you feel like it would be narratively inappropriate for you to have your gun reloaded quickly, then we'll do that. But if you feel like you could, it doesn't specifically say you can't use it every round. So I would say it's up to you.
I would say at this point, since the monkey is still running to me, I have a little bit more time, and I'm I have really a matchlock where you need to put the gunpowder yourself in and everything. I'm doing it as fast as possible and just make it ready for as in the last moment. But in normal combat, close combat, I'm not able to reload in any way. So I would say for this round, it's barely possible. But afterwards, no.
Okay, let me text Pete here. He's having some trouble. Okay, so you all right, you're doing that then. So the way that the situation works in this game in general is that we make whatever makes sense for people to go first. Your gunfire, instead of scaring the monkeys away, actually seems to have attracted them.
Sounds
but
great.
all of you all noticed them before they came. So I'm going to say you all connect first. And why don't we go with you first, Tamiko?
Okay.
Since you just did your dramatic 3-point landing.
I'm gonna charge the monkey that's charging me with my cane and try to smash its skull in. Okay, I'm gonna need to add a curse die to that because I got a 4. Or I guess that would be a 7 since I am adding +3 for my cane.
You gonna do a curse die?
Yeah. Let's see. 11.
Oh yeah, that's definitely good enough. So yes, so you cut into the monkey.
Wow, I slung it so hard a blunt object cut through something.
You do cut into the monkey, but it yowls in pain, but it's still kind of coming at you. Go ahead. Go ahead there, Mayumi.
Yeah, I will. I'm reloading my pistol while the monkey was approaching me, and in the last moment, I like managed to like raise the pistol and like shoot at him. And that would be self-control again, I guess, right? Shooting.
I'm gonna say shooting is self-control. Yeah, I mean, it seems like you're aiming, taking careful aim. Yep.
5, 3, 8, 11 in total.
All right. Yeah, you blast into the beast. Kind of yelp.
Nice.
And then another one engages with Akimi. And you can see them fighting back and forth. Akimi slashing slashing her short sword, cutting into the creature. All right, so that happens, and then you hear this like this loud booming sound. And both of you, go ahead and let's see. Why don't we make a sharpness challenge, or make a sharpness check here? And this is, again, being able to notice something. And if you have any arguments for why you might notice something or another. You know what? I'm going to give you advantage on this one, Tamiko, because you are brave. So you look towards danger.
Yeah. Also, I could make an observation. My hat, my straw farmer's hat that I apparently have. That might also factor in because it's keeping the sun out of my eyes.
I love that. Perfect. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. Yeah. So go ahead and do 2d6 or 3d6, so you have advantage, and then add your farmer's hat. That's keeping the sun out of your eyes.
All right. I'm a timid person, so I think I'm at disadvantage.
Very good. You're like, oh no, something worse.
Oh no.
Well,
I have a 6.
Okay, so Tamiko, you hear the sound of this like booming sound, and you look to your right, essentially to the east, and you see like down the river, as like from the sun is kind of shining down the river, but you lean your hat down, keeping the sun out of your eyes. You see this massive silhouetted form swing across this vine over the river and crash into the side of a house that's further down there, breaking through the house. This massive form, just this sound. And Akimi, and Akimi kind of looks over as well. And Mayumi, you're sort of timid, so you take a couple of steps back, and you kind of back into a little bit of a couple of bushes there that are right around that area, and you unwittingly realize that there were a couple more monkeys that had snuck in that are right there, so you've walked right into their midst. So now you have 3 monkeys surrounding you in the bushes.
Oh, damn it.
And it's now their turn to attack you. So fortunately, though, the way the combat works is every combat is you fighting against them, both of you. So it's just a matter of whether or not you succeed or fail. Here we go, Pete. Here comes Pete again. And he'll be in a second. There we go.
Hey, Pete's back.
Yay. Sorry about that.
no problem.
Fine, you are fine. I will give you a quick update, Pete.
Okay.
A lot has happened, actually. So you slashed at the monkey. 3 monkeys, 1 went at each of you. Mayumi blasted one with his revolver or his weapon. Tamiko, what did you hit the thing with, Tamiko? I forget.
A cane.
A cane. And Akimi slashed it with the short sword. Then there was this loud booming sound. It frightened Mayumi a bit, who took several steps into the bushes nearby, where there were more monkeys hiding, and started to surround Mayumi. But Tamiko looked down the river and, using the brim of his farmer's hat to shade his eyes, noticed that there was this massive beast swinging on this vine over the river to the east, further to the east, and crashing through the wall of a home.
Awesome.
And actually, go ahead and make a sharpness roll and see which one of the things happened, what you saw.
Okay.
Whether you went to the bushes or whatever. We'll see. Yeah, make a sharpness check.
9.
9? Okay.
I'm complicated.
Let's see here. Okay, so you look over and you too see the large beast swinging and crashing through the wall to the home. But you see this elderly woman who was rushing to push a cart to her home is rushing down the pathway between where you are and where the home that was broken into. And several monkeys go jumping out of the bushes and like swarm over her. Okay, what would you all like to do? Let's start with Tamiko, since you kind of are most well positioned to know what's going on right now.
All right. Are there any pitchforks nearby, like stray pitchforks?
Yeah, there's farms nearby. Any farm implement is basically in nearby grabbing range.
Yeah. So I'll say I grab either I'll give you the choice between a pitchfork and a sickle.
Well, it's definitely going to be a sickle if the choice is between a pitchfork and a sickle.
Yeah, one of those comma sickles. So I grab a sickle, and what kind of plus would that give to my attack?
We'll say it's a +2. Well, what's your short sword, Pete?
+2.
All right. Well, then I'll say a sickle's a +1.
Okay.
Well, no, I'll say a +2. I'll say a +2.
It's sharp.
And you're a farmer too, so I kind of feel like
Makes sense.
you know how to use a sickle, Tamiko. So.
Okay. So, who's closer, the big monkey or the monkeys swarming the old woman?
The woman and the monkey are closer. Like she's kind of on the path, the pathway between where you are and that home, and the monkey's in the home now. You can't see him, but he's in that home.
Yeah. So I'm just going to charge the monkeys that are attacking the old woman. I'm like, cane in one hand, sickle in the other, and just try to just flurry, do like a flurry of attacks on the monkeys. Just at least one of them.
Okay, great. Go ahead and do this. You run by, you pick up a sickle, and you go swinging to defend the woman.
Both weapons simultaneously.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's a +5.
Well, you can't double. You only get the bonus from one item, but I'll let both items happen, but you can only choose one of them to add to your roll.
All right, +3 then. 9.
Ooh, with complication. All right, so
You hit the old lady, didn't you?
no, you don't hit the old lady. You do manage to swing your old swing your cane and the sickle and cut into the monkeys, which sets them screeching and running off from the lady, saving her. But then you hear a piercing scream from inside the house where the large monkey would be. And we'll leave it at that for now. Let's go to Mayumi, who is in a lot of trouble right now. There are 3 monkeys surrounding you at the moment, kind of swarmed around you. You're kind of in the bushes, making it a little bit more difficult for you to move around.
Yes, it should be like, but their turn to attack me, right? Like I attacked last
that's
time.
True. I haven't. Yes, so one of them is attacking you. So, actually, all 3 are going to attack you. So go ahead and.
I'm in trouble.
I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a collective attack rather than all 3 simultaneously.
All right.
I'm going to bump up the difficulty to 12.
So, for what am I rolling?
You're essentially rolling your weapon. You're rolling your weapon. So
my weapon. All right.
Because you're fighting against them, so you're trying to fight them off.
I have another idea. I have Hanafuda cards, which are like some kind of playing cards. If I'm like flashing them into their faces, they're like having like lots of things to look right. Like I think it's like confusing for animals if there's like lots of cards flying around. Maybe like distracting them for a few seconds, so I can easily avoid any attacks.
Okay, sure. You can. That's fine. I like it.
That would be which attribute? Self-control, sharpness. Could also be wisdom.
I want to say wisdom because I want to see if this is a wise maneuver or not.
Yeah, I would say wisdom because that's out of the box thinking there. I'm glad you're doing it because I have marked Hanafuda cards.
Oh.
I rolled a 4 and I have +3, so I'm at +7 in total. I think it's not a very wise.
Would you like to test your soul?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's a 6. So I could turn a 2 into a 6. That would mean I'm at 11.
Oh, still short.
And I lose one of my curse resistance.
That's right, but you will take less damage because of that. So that does matter. So
it's great.
So you managed to get scratched on one of your. Well, I don't know if you have your. I don't know. You all haven't put on your masks yet, but now would be the time.
Yes.
But yes, you get a scratch along your arm. You know, like where one of the monkeys rips onto your arm, leaving several scratches, bloody scratches, and you take 1 point of damage. Let's get to you, Akimi.
All right. Well, because we have it on reasonable assumption that the young women who are kidnapped are still alive, I was going to go for the old lady. She seems to be pretty much out of danger, though.
Yeah, the monkeys went running off and just kind of running into the town.
All right. Well, I'm going to put my mask on and head into. That's right. So now I'm an old man, and I'm going to follow the big dude into the house and see what I can see.
Okay. You go rushing into the house. You put your mask on. You go rushing into the house. An old man running through the town. And you rush into the house and you see the Zorgami, a woman in hands, getting ready to swing out of the hole. Let's see here. Oh, no, not that one. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ignore that.
It's a nice fancy hat.
Yeah, like I said, he's dressed. He's got this cloak on, this hat on.
So is he looking at me, or am I out of his line of sight?
I mean, you rush into the room and he's got this woman wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like standing at the opening to escape. You can see the vine is there, and he looks back at you and gives this monkey roar that just makes your bones shake.
All right. Well, what I would like to do, and obviously it's up to you if I can do this, I have a wooden bowl that I'd like to throw at him as a distraction.
A bowl.
I have a wooden bowl.
Your beggar bowl. Yes.
Yes. My +1 wooden bowl. I'd like to throw it at him and try to sort of get at him with my sword while he's distracted, hopefully.
Okay, so essentially, I will allow this for sure, but you're probably you only can use one item for bonuses, and your sword is going to give you a better bonus. It's going to give you a +2 bonus. Yes, but go ahead and try to rush at him with the sword. And I'll give you advantage since you're doing this distraction. How about that? Now, I must tell you, however, the target number on this guy is a 12.
Okay. Do I get a bonus for any of my stats or no?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So just do your normal. This would be a courage.
All right, it's +1.
And then your sword +2.
All right, so I have a +3 in total.
And then you're also rolling at advantage.
Okay. Nice. 14.
Ooh. All right, you cut into him and he roars in anger as you do that. And he screeches at you and gives you a yellow-eyed stare of anger and agitation.
So he's got jaundice.
And then he grabs the vine and swings with the woman in hand across the river. And he kind of looks back.
Damn it, should have cut the vine.
From the other side of the river and kind of screeches at you. And you can see all of these monkeys are like around him now on the other side of the river. Okay, so
where did I get him?
Where would you like to have gotten him?
Ooh, I like that. Since he got away already, we'll say abdomen.
Okay, so you can see this kind of blood dripping out of the side there onto the forest ground on the other side.
Now we have a trail.
It's great.
And he goes rushing off. Well, I want to give you guys a chance to do something still. Let's go over to Mayumi, who has only fought something off as of yet. So go ahead.
Can I use a free action to retrieve my bowl?
Yeah, you pick up your bowl.
Yeah, I think I'm still in trouble with 3 monkeys. So as established, the pistol is not easily reloaded within a few seconds. So I think I'm gonna use my pistol to like smash one of them to get somehow free.
Okay,
that
would batter them away.
Yes, that would then be courage, right?
Yes.
Less self-control. All right. That's a really nice 9.
You and your complications. You swing back your weapon, you batter one of them in the kind of the skull, and it staggers a bit. And it kind of looks up at you kind of staggeringly. And what do you have on you? You have your cards.
I have the
All right,
cards,
so
but they're like on the floor. I've also a blanket.
So one of them so the monkey gets like kind of staggers a little bit and scoops up a bunch of the cards of your cards and goes running off.
It's good.
Trade the cards for the girls.
And you manage to scatter the monkeys away. Tamiko.
All right, I'm just gonna charge up to the house, where the monkey was. I say to Mayumi, where did it go?
That way over the bridge again into the forest.
All right, I'm gonna try and swing across the vine.
So the vine is on the other side of the river now.
It didn't swing back?
It's well, okay, you know what? Actually, it would be like kind of hanging in the middle of the the river. You could try to leap to it.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna use my cane to try and like give myself a little boost.
That's a great idea.
Pole vaulter.
Yeah.
All right, so
10.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay, yeah, okay. So Tomiko is quite brave. In fact, I would have given you advantage because you're brave, and that's a psychotic move. So you grab a hold of the vine, and
But it's actually a 15.
are you trying to pull it over to your side, or are you trying to leap to?
Oh no, I'm just swinging over.
Okay. So you see the Saragumi go rushing off into the forest, and there's a bunch of monkeys over there that had been on the other side of the forest. And Tomiko's now over there, and there's a bunch of monkeys standing like right in front of Tomiko. I'm going to give Mayumi another chance here to act because I feel like I kind of skipped Mayumi one round. So go ahead and make another action. I'll let you go first on this round, Mayumi.
All right. The monkeys which surround me are all gone now, right?
Yeah, they went kind of running off into the village. And you can hear like sounds of like yells and like, and actually it seems as though your collective efforts, like you see the townspeople wielding spades and pitchforks and sickles and whatever they can get their hands on, like fighting off the monkeys.
No mercy.
All right. So I think the if the two the three remaining monkeys are like doing like the villagers will take care of them. So I think I will try to like cross the bridge and follow the monkeys, like maybe the big monkey with the blood trail. And while I'm running, I try to somehow reload my gun, so it's maybe like ready in the next action.
Okay.
My next turn.
Yeah. Perfect.
Then
yeah, so
like
the
using the
monkey
bridge,
is on the
not
side.
the vine.
Yeah, they're on the side with the Buddhist temple. So you cross over that bridge. And actually, while you do that, you hear Sakura like sobbing, like wailing and crying.
You mean Himiko?
Yeah, Himiko. Yep.
All right.
Not Sakura. Yeah, I said Sakura. Yeah, Himiko, right?
About to say, we're closer than we thought.
What about you, Akimi?
When Tomiko did the mad dash for glory, did they leave their cane behind? As they did the pole vault? Because if so, I'm going to grab that first.
Tomiko probably still has the cane, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have let go of that.
Okay, I didn't know how you were.
But Tomiko, if you would like, though, Tomiko, you are welcome to swing the vine back to Akimi, who's standing now in the opening.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so he doesn't even have to, struggle for it. Like,
all right, then I'm a Tarzan across.
Okay, you're gonna Tarzan across, and I'll let you do something else too, as well, if you'd like, since you don't have to make an action really to leap over there. You swing over there, and there are a bunch of menacing-looking monkeys. And like in the far distance, you can see like leaping from branch to branch. You see the Zarugami.
How many monkeys are there with us?
We'll say half a dozen are like right in front of you, and then there's a bunch more like.
Can I try to land on one?
I love it. Yes. Go ahead and make a courage check. And aren't you like you're not courageous, but you're like. Impulsive.
Yep.
That feels impulsive. So I'm going to go ahead and say you're going to do that with advantage.
+1.
You're like swinging across and you're like, I could land on one of those monkeys.
11.
All right, yeah, you stomp on one of the monkeys and several of them go scattering away. About half of them go scattering away.
That's what you get.
And Tomiko and Akimi, and actually now you're kind of rushing up as well, Mayumi. You can see like there is sort of a trail of blood like leading away. And as Akimi sort of lands on one of them, the monkeys kind of go scattering. So they're like all around you and they're like yelling at you. But they're not actively engaging with you at this point. So you're kind of out of combat, you might say. What would you like to do?
No one gets out alive.
Like we heard Himiko crying there. Maybe I like rush in there and like look if she's okay, if she's like attacked by monkeys or what's going on there.
She just seems to be having an emotional breakdown. Like she is just like, she's got her hands over her ears. The monkeys are super loud. She's got her hands over her ears and she's just like rocking back and forth. And as you kind of get closer to check on her, you hear her saying, "This is all my fault. This is all my fault. I am sorry, Sakura. I am so sorry."
What have you done?
She feels the guilt.
She looks up at you. She says, go ahead and let's see here if you can convince her to tell you this.
All right.
I believe that this would be... Maybe... Wisdom doesn't feel right, but that's what I think it would say. I would say self-control or wisdom. You can choose.
I would take self-control then.
Okay.
Does like I have still the pistol in my hand, like not raised or something, like pointed to the ground, but is it like underlines my authority here?
Okay, I will agree with that. That's a fair use of that.
All right, great. The first roll is a 1, a 2. Yeah, I'm not good at this. That would be a 6 in total. I'm not convincing anyone here.
Do you want to use your curse die?
Yes, that's a very good idea. That's a 6, which would mean I have an 11.
Okay.
And I'm at 2 curse resistance.
She says, Sakura and I, we are in love, but her father would never have allowed it. The only way that we could have been together is to have escaped, to have faked, to have seen our own deaths, but it spiraled out of control. I gave the idol to the Zorgami in exchange for taking Sakura. And he had promised that he would help us escape this place together. But he broke his deal. He found a taste for imprisoning the women of the town. And now he is out of control. She sobs into her hands.
Quick question. Segura was the daughter of the samurai?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
First
considered
one,
the most beautiful.
First one taken. So
Considered
Yes.
the most beautiful woman in
that's
the
how that
village.
goes.
What have you done?
She just told you.
I'm so sorry. Please help her and the other women. Undo what I have done.
I think I didn't understand completely. Like, who took the idol now? The monkey god?
I gave
Monkey
it to the
beast?
Zorgami in exchange for its help. And he promised that if he had the idol, he would do this and that he would not harass the village. But He betrayed our agreement.
Yes. We need to hunt that monkey down.
Fortunately,
Let's
the
go.
strongest of us made a trail.
Yeah, and you hear the screams of the monkey, and of course, as you're having this conversation, the Sarugami is getting further and further away.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to go after that.
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna try. You said it was leaping from branches. I'm gonna try and like jump on the branches and start leaping through. I hate to make the low hanging fruit reference, but like Naruto style.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, obviously you do not have the leaping capabilities that the Sarugami has, because it's just so massive, and I mean it's built for this. But
Fortunately, we have ears.
But yeah, go ahead and do a courage check on that. You are brave. I'll give you advantage on that. And
I want to use my sickle to try and like catch on to branches and somehow swing round and round to get myself more momentum.
I love it. I will give you that as well.
All right, let's see. One of those was cracked. All right, so that'll be a 12.
Okay, yes. So you are following along, and all of you and Mayumi and Akimi, you see Tomiko has begun to chase after the Sarugami, leaping from tree to tree, using the sickle to swing after it, absolutely determined to catch the beast. The two of you continue on and follow as well?
Yeah, but I'm going to stay on the ground and just listen. And, look
Same.
for a blood trail.
Okay.
Same.
All right, so you follow the blood trail for a while, and you notice that the monkey's sounds, although you can sense the presence of many, many monkeys, the best way I kind of would put it is if you were to be in a room where everybody was speaking in hushed tones, think of it in a similar way, where the monkeys are communicating in a way that is, it seems as though they are feeling as though something important is about to happen, and are communicating amongst each other, but they're giving you a bit of space as you move through the trees, but it's clearly they're keeping an eye on you. They're all kind of watching you to see what's going to happen next. And you follow the blood trail for a while, and you can see up ahead, illuminated by the full moon that's pushing through the branches of the tree, a temple on the river, off of the river. An ancient temple that's overgrown, a temple of a long forgotten, superseded religion. Buddhism took over in the present, but this temple, these ruins seem to belong to a time well past. And everybody let's go ahead and do a sharpness check here.
Can I do something first?
Yeah, sure.
As we're watching all this happen, I'm gonna take the Sarugami's blood that's on my sword. I'm gonna wipe it off and rub it into my mask.
Oh, I love
Hopefully
it.
that'll keep them away. They'll smell that. They'll think we're one of them.
Oh yeah, I gotta put my mask on. Everyone,
Same. Forgot that so far.
Way ahead of you. All right. So you said sharpness check.
Yep.
Can I have advantage due to my high vantage point?
Yeah, I love that. That's a great example. And you're now the akin to the fox in the trees ahead above, traveling Below is an old man and a bird-like creature.
And I will add my hat bonus as well, like last time. That is all right.
I managed to get an 11.
Ooh,
I also
nice.
got an 11.
I think it might just be a 10.
Okay, that's good enough. All of you hear the sound of whimpering, of young women whimpering. It seems to be a few. And the crunching of stones under heavy feet coming from deeper into the temple area. In fact, I would say, Tomiko, given your higher vantage point, you can see, you can't see much, but you see a little bit of motion and what look to be some bamboo constructed cages.
Yeah. I see the Okay. Oh, so so the temple doesn't appear to be a building; it's just external.
It once was a building, but it's ruins now.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, so the temple grounds are kind of like still somewhat clear because there's the stone foundations and such. There's, obviously some natural growth. But near the back of that, sort of where the forest still exists, it looks like there's some constructed cages back there. Although you can't quite see it entirely. They're kind of like in the forest. But all three of you notice, you can see the Sarugami drop down from the trees and pull open one of these cages and drop the sobbing woman who they just captured into the cage. And you can see he kind of, once he does, and he sort of ties it closed, he reaches to his side where he's got this sort of bloody wounds, and he kind of like starts to look around. What would you like to do? You're distant from it. It doesn't seem to have noticed you yet.
I'm going to try and stealthily move through the trees to get into a position sort of above it.
Okay. And what about Mayumi?
I would try to shoot it with my pistol.
Okay.
I have my mask is a golden-eyed protector Tengu. So I'm kind of like protecting the woman in some kind of way.
I'll give you
Does this
advantage
mask
for
give
that.
me-
Yeah, that sounds
That's
good.
cool. That's cool.
And then Akimi. You guys are playing it just right, by the way. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. Make the arguments.
Do we see Tomiko above us?
It's near stealthy. I imagine I'm doing a very good job of this.
But I mean, in general, have we been sort of following Tomiko's path as we've been on the ground?
I was going to say that you kind of were, because Tomiko was at first leaping around. But depending on how good Bob does with his role right now, he might disappear to your eyes.
Okay, but I have a general sense. I sort of know that he's going from above.
Yeah, I think that would be fair to say.
Right.
Maybe you don't know exactly where he is, but it seems as though he's stalking from above.
Okay. So I'm going to try to stealthily approach, thinking either I can get another good hit or I could be a distraction for Tomiko to attack from above.
Very good. Okay, all three of you make your rolls because they're all sort of going to happen simultaneously.
Yeah. 11, by the way.
What are we rolling with? Courage, sharpness, wisdom?
Yeah, I'll say maybe for you, Akimi, I might say self-control to remain quiet. You are impulsive. Ninja style is not you. 11. Very good.
Why?
I rolled a 9.
Oh, complications.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about Tomiko?
I got, what are we using? Sharpness?
For moving quietly, it would be sharpness is for sort of perception-based skills. So moving quietly, I was going to say self-control.
All right, so I got a 12.
Okay. Yeah, you move silently over the creature. It seems distracted right now by its wounds and by something else that's about to happen right now. Akimi, you're moving up quietly. Mayumi, however, you raise your gun and you fire at the creature, blasting into it. Unfortunately, at this distance, it seems as though its toughened hide resists most of it, although it does seem to take a glancing blow. But the loud boom draws all of its attention directly down at you as your companions seem to have gone nearly invisible in the forest. And it looks at you and it roars, raising its arms into the air, seeing you as the object of all of its frustration right now. And it's going
I'm in trouble.
It's going to start running at you. I was sort of considering that as a free round for all of you because you sort of snuck up on it. So we'll let you go first. I'm going to say, Tomiko, go ahead and go first, Tomiko, because you're stealthily up from above.
All right, so I am going to I'm gonna leap downward, Assassin's Creed style, and try to like land on its back and ram my sickle into its back to like hold on. Like, all right.
I'll give you
Papa needs a new pair of shoes.
I'll give you courageous for advantage, and of course your sickle is +2.
Perfect. Okay.
And and obviously this is a courage-based ability.
The sickle is +2.
Mm-hmm.
Just made it 10.
Okay, so you cut into the creature. It does not stay into the creature's back, however. You didn't quite pierce it deeply enough. You just do a glancing blow as it's starting to run, and it looks at you, surprised eyes. And at that moment, Akimi kind of turns its head back towards you, back towards Tomiko. What would you like to do?
I'm going Thor style. I'm going for the head.
All right, so you spring out, its head sort of turned back towards you, but you're going for the head with your short sword.
Yep. What am I rolling against? So I got +2 on the sword.
Mm-hmm. It's still a 12.
Would this be courage though, or courage, sharpness, wisdom?
I'm going to give you courage, and I'm actually going to give you advantage on this one as well because you're coming from surprise, from a sneak.
So I'm going for a 12. Dice love me today. 15.
Oh, Lord Almighty! Wow.
Nice.
That's actually 3 damage.
6, 5, 6.
Yeah. So you slice into its face, and it turns back around at you, and it's sort of eyes open, roaring in frustration and almost like it looks like fearful, and its head turns back and it looks longingly at the cages behind it. Now, the two of you.
No soup for you.
You can see that there are 4 women in cages now, and they're all kind of pushed up near the bars, kind of keeping an eye on what's going on. Oddly, however, none of them look bad at all. They look like they're clean, washed. They don't look abused in any way. There was no abuse, just to be that clear within game. They don't look abused. They look very, very well cared for, actually. And go ahead, Tomiko.
All right, so I'm still clinging onto this thing's back.
Oh,
right?
no, I'm sorry, not Tomiko. Let me go Mayumi here. I passed over Mayumi. Let me do Mayumi.
Right. But am I still clinging to its back?
No, your blow wasn't powerful enough to stab into it, so you kind of just glanced off and landed on your feet next to him.
So, what is the monkey doing? Is he
It was gonna run at you, and then your companions jumped out and like attacked it, so it like stopped.
We ruined its day.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm going to reel up my pistol as fast as possible, and maybe also like get into like some kind of cover, like behind I don't know, a pillar or something.
Behind a broken pillar. Yeah, for sure. Okay, go ahead and reel off a shot.
All right. Nice. That's a 7. First roll was a 1 again. Yes. It was like a sarcastic nice.
All right, so your shot fires wide and into the forest, missing wildly.
Look on the bright side, you didn't hit me.
All right, so now it's the Zorgami's turn. It turns towards you, Akimi, who has dealt it a horrible blow, and it reaches up and it's the blood on its face, and it looks down at you with your old man mask, and just goes and tries to rip at you. So this gets actually it increases the difficulty when it's attacking you. So its difficulty is 13.
Okay.
So you always roll. So you essentially put up your sword to defend against it. So
I get the +2 from the sword?
You get the +2 from the sword, and you get your courage. This will not be advantage, though.
Okay. Family now. 14.
Okay. So he claws at you, and you actually duck down, you put your sword up, and you cut along the top of its arm, like the bottom of its arm, as it swings over top of your head. And it like roars in anger. Tomiko.
All right, so its back is to me, right?
Yep.
I'm going to try and leap onto its back again and just hack at the wound I made. I'm not just going to rely on the sickle. I'm going to grab a fistful of fur, too.
Nice. It's 9 feet tall, just so you all know, actually.
Cue Shadow of the Colossus music.
Oh, God, what a great game.
Yeah, we can't play it because copyright, but play the music, but so I'm just gonna try and climb up with sickle and hand with fistful of fur.
Okay.
Up to your shoulders.
I'm gonna give you an advantage because you are from behind on it, and sickle and courage, so +2, and then whatever your courage is.
All right, so that is I'm gonna need to use a curse die for this. Ooh, good. 8, 9, 10, 11, 14.
All right. I want to give you narrative control over this description here. It is not going to be dead, but you are essentially crippling it. It'll be so close. It'll be very, very close to death. So why don't you go ahead and describe exactly what you do?
Yeah, so I leap straight up onto this thing's back, clinging to it ironically, a monkey. And I'm just ramming my sickle into its back, rip it out, fistfuls of fur as I climb, jamming the blade into the soft bits of its back until eventually I climb up to its shoulders and I'm just clinging to it like a mad woman, just waving the sickle in the air like a maniac.
It's down on its hands and knees now, and it's kind of Tomiko's on its back, and Akimi, you're standing right there over it, and it's kind of just pulling itself along the ground. It's devastatingly injured. Clearly, it does not have much left in it. And you hear from one of the cages, Please, do not kill it. Do not kill it. Allow it to escape.
I'm gonna turn to the cage and say, "What the fuck?"
That doesn't translate properly into Japanese, but
What do you mean? Don't kill it, let it escape.
You see who must be Sakura for her unsurpassed beauty. Standing at the cage, she's got beautiful silk robes on. She says, "It is only because the idol was stolen that it invoked its madness. Take the idol from it. It is a protector of our people. Take the idol, return it to the temple. Allow the creature to live and heal itself, and once again be in friendship with our village."
yeah, wait, it stole the idol?
No, it was given to my, it says,
By Kamiko?
Priestess Hamiko gave it to him. That invoked a madness in the creature. I see it as it looks at the idol. If we were to reclaim it, surely it would leave us alone once more.
Until someone else decides to make a deal?
She looks down sadly. Love is powerful. It is true.
So is stupidity.
It is in your hands. As the creature sort of like feebly, it like falls down onto its belly, its arms and legs splayed. Tamiko standing on its back. At any moment, Tamiko could take its life.
All right. Well, because at any moment Tamiko could take its life, I'm gonna let the girls go. I'm gonna open up the cage.
Okay.
Yeah, like before we do anything, we should probably make sure they're a safe distance away.
Yeah, so
But
You
I'm
free
not
the
going to
women.
let Sakura leave. I'm going to ask her where is the idol.
she nods down to a pouch at the Zorgami side. He carries it on him. The other women are kind of gathered in a sort of half circle behind Sakura. It is in his pouch.
All right.
Monkeys have pouches?
This one does. He has clothes on.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he had a hat and a cape. It was a
And a very nice
very
hat.
dapper hat.
Yeah. So, I don't really see any need to kill the monkey if this idol will solve the issue.
And I think we've proven we can take this thing out the next time someone decides to make a deal with it.
Yeah, so I basically, I'm going to kneel down, I'm going to whisper to it, I'm like, all right, look. If you do anything like this again, we're not going to be so merciful.
You're reasoning with a monkey.
He's God. He understands me. Yeah. Yeah. We've proven the gods may be strong, but we are stronger.
Ooh, the sacrilege.
Yeah. Narcissistic. Yeah.
The monkey.
You don't mess with Tomiko the Ripper.
Tamiko, you do get a sense in saying this as you lean down and you say this to the monkey, that there is a sense of understanding and acknowledgement on the face of the creature.
All right.
Here's my suggestion. How long did it take us to get out here? About an hour?
An hour. Yeah, we'll say an hour.
All right. Mayumi, take the idol and the girls back to the village. We'll stay here and keep guard on him. We'll start heading back in an hour.
All right. But first, I would like to look around on all the other monkeys that are around. Is there anyone like the one who took my cards? I want my cards back. Do I seeing any monkey with cards?
You see a couple of monkeys with cards now. It looks like they've been passing them around.
Damn it.
collect them all.
I can't communicate with them, I guess. Like, just killing them for cards doesn't sound very good. Damn it. Yeah, I'll
We'll
get
buy you another
the woman out of the forest into the village.
Okay.
And the idol as well. And I will carry the idol, like not giving it to anyone else.
Smart.
All right, so we are up against
All
our
right.
time limit. We have 3 minutes until I have to end the session. Akimi and Tomiko, what do you intend to do?
Well, I'm definitely going to have words about this with the priestess, because I just found out that she's the one who gave the golden idol.
This is true.
That's right. You weren't specifically there, so you didn't know that piece of information.
Yeah, at this point, I think we'll let the Zorgami live.
Okay. And returning back to the village of Tsuyoshi, you come to learn that while you were gone during all of the intensity of the battle, that the samurai Mōri Yukimura passed during the battle. And it's the townspeople, seeing what you had done to save them, put it in your hands to determine the fate of Priestess Amiki and what shall be done with the Princess Himiko, and what shall be done with the Zorgami, which you have chosen to allow it to live.
Let it live for now. I think I would like to think Princess Himiko has learned her lesson.
Yes, she begs your forgiveness. And Sakura begs mercy.
I'm happy to wash my hands of it and leave it up to Miki.
Who's Miki?
She's the old woman from the
old woman.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
I say, okay, well, the death penalty is definitely off the table. We don't want to walk away with any more dead.
Yeah.
This was all an accident.
Yeah, and nobody seems to have been killed by the monkey attack. There were lots of minor injuries, but mostly the monkeys were driven off. And by the time you return, they're all gone. So we do need to end the session because it's the con and we have to end exactly at 1 o'clock. So I appreciate all of you playing. And Bob, I've sent you a friend request on Discord if you care to accept that. You don't have to, of course. But I appreciate all of you playing and sharing this game with me. This was part of Zine Quest 3 this past year, and I really enjoyed this rules-like game. If you don't know what Zine Quest is, it's something that happens every year on Kickstarter, where there's a bunch of indie game developers put out games. This was one of them. And so I appreciate you all sharing this game with me and also supporting the con. And
Yeah,
I'll mention to you, I'll put it up here one last time as we end this session here.
Yeah, let me grab a screenshot of that real quick.
Yep. If you are inclined to make a donation to support the Trevor Project and help out LGBTQ plus youth, then of course it would be appreciated. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And Pete, I know I will see you really soon. Nick, I hope I see you soon as well. And Bob, it was really nice meeting you, and hopefully we'll be able to connect on a game again sometime in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what if we made the two, the priestess and the princess, trained as yokai hunters as a sort of community service?
That's a great idea. And
That
actually,
sounds great.
That's in line with the lore of the game as well,
Nice.
although you don't realize it. So that's perfect. So we'll leave it at that, and that will be the final conclusion of the game. So thank you all so much, and I hope to run into you in games again very soon.
Likewise.
Absolutely.
Yes, it was fun.
Take care. Enjoy the rest
Thanks
of the
for
con.
running it.
Of
Nice to
course,
meet you,
my
too.
pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
RPGs and Baby Makes 3 is a production of Gretchen and Rob sitting on their couch. Email the show at rpgsandbabymakes3@gmail.com. You can find more episodes on Podbean, Spotify, and iTunes, as well as on our free Patreon page at patreon.com/RPGs and Baby Makes 3.